Hi everyone! Today I am making flan. This is one dessert that's popular worldwide. In Brazil, flan is known as pudim. In France, it is creme caramel. In the Philippines, it is called leche flan, and in Vietnam, we call it bánh flan. Each country has their own version of this dessert, but the recipes are all pretty similar. The differences is usually in the number of eggs that is used and the type of milk that is added, and the flan is sometimes baked or steamed. But no matter where you're from or what you call it, it is all delicious. All of the ingredients in this video was purchased at the 99 cents only store. What we'll need for this recipe is a few eggs, some milk, sugar, molina, which is a Mexican vanilla blend, but you can always substitute this with vanilla extract, and we'll also need a little bit of salt. Okie dokie, let's get started. First, we'll need to fill a tea kettle with some water and bring it to a boil. Then preheat the oven to 350 degrees. Now we're going to make a dry caramel, and believe me folks when I say it is much easier to make than a wet caramel. When making a dry caramel, you will only need one thing, and that is sugar. So in a medium saucepan, add the sugar and turn the heat on to medium. In about 3 minutes or so, the sugar will start to melt around the edges of the pan. Once you see that it has, then take your spatula and push the liquefied sugar towards the center of the pan to prevent it from burning. Stir the sugar and then evenly spread it out. If you should get any sugar stuck onto your spoon or spatula, just take a knife and simply scrape it off. In about a minute, the sugar will start melting around the edges again. Just repeat the first step and push the melted sugar towards the center of the pan. Once half of the sugar has dissolved, at this time you will want to continuously stir the sugar slowly around the pan to prevent it from burning. Also, you can use your spatula to break up any clumps of sugar. Continue to stir the sugar until it has all liquefied. A good time to remove the caramel sauce from the heat is when the caramel starts to smoke. Be very careful at this point because the caramel sauce can burn within seconds, and the longer you cook the caramel sauce, the darker it will become. The caramel sauce will go from tasting sweet to bitter to burnt. Carefully pour the caramel into each of the ramekins. Please be extremely careful when doing this so that you do not accidentally burn yourself with the hot caramel sauce. If you need to, you can tilt the ramekin and swirl the caramel to evenly coat the bottom of it. The caramel sauce will usually harden within seconds of it being poured out of the pan, so if you're not able to completely coat the bottom of the ramekins before it hardens, just place the ramekin in the microwave and reheat it for 10 seconds. The hardened caramel will then turn back into a liquid form. Once all the ramekins are evenly coated with the caramel sauce, set them aside and let them cool. Now in a medium saucepan, add some milk and turn the heat on to medium. The milk is warm and ready once there is steam. Turn off the heat and set the milk aside. Next, we're going to work on the custard. In a medium-sized mixing bowl, add in the eggs. Then add the sugar and throw in a pinch of salt. Lastly, add in the molina or vanilla extract. Then whisk the egg mixture until everything is well incorporated. Now take the warm milk and slowly pour it into the egg mixture, adding in only a little bit at a time because you don't want scrambled eggs. So just pour in a little bit each time while whisking the egg mixture. Once you have poured in about half of the milk, you can go ahead and just pour the rest of it into the bowl and whisk well to combine everything. Next, place a sieve over a measuring cup or some sort of container with a spout for easy pouring. Pour the custard through a sieve to catch any cooked egg bits. Doing this will also help make your flan come out nice and smooth. Then skim off any foam from the top of the custard. Pour the custard evenly into each of the caramel-lined ramekins. Tap each of the ramekins onto the countertop a few times to rid them of any air bubbles. Then go ahead and place all the ramekins into a large deep baking tray. Then transfer the baking tray to the oven. Now pour some hot water into the baking tray, and the water should reach at least half the height of the ramekins. Next, take a sheet of aluminum foil and just lay it over the top of the custard cups. The flan will then bake for approximately 65 to 70 minutes. The first time you should check on your flan is at the 60-minute mark because everyone's oven temperature may vary. If at that time the flan is still liquidy in the center, then bake it for another 5 minutes. The flan will be done when there's only a slight jiggle in the center of it. Do not cook the flan until it is set because the flan will then be overcooked. It will slightly cook further as it cools. Remove the tray from the oven and place the ramekins onto the counter for about an hour to cool. After it has cooled, cover the ramekins with some plastic wrap, then refrigerate overnight. The flan will actually set in about 4 hours, but for the best results, please wait until the next day to serve them. The reason being is that 1, the flan will taste better the next day, and 2, it will give the caramel a chance to liquefy. The more days you let it sit in the refrigerator, the less of the hardened caramel you will have stuck at the bottom of your ramekins. So when it comes to flan, it does pay to be patient, folks. When you're ready to serve the flan, take a small knife and just run it around the edge of the ramekin. And then take a plate and place it over the custard cup. Then invert it onto the plate. Shake the ramekin gently to release the flan. If the flan will not release on its own, then just stick a knife in between the flan and the ramekin, then gently pull it down. The flan will then come plopping right out of there. If you are patient and can wait until the next day to unmold your flan, then it will easily release without any problems. There it is, a beautiful flan covered with a delicious caramel syrup. Of course, you can serve it plain as so, or you want to make it look a little bit fancier, you can add some caramel art on top of your flan. Just make some extra caramel syrup and create your design onto some parchment paper. Today I'm going to make a heart because I heart you guys. You can also add a heart on top of your flan and maybe serve it to your honey either on Valentine's Day or maybe on your wedding anniversary. How about that? Once you have created your caramel art, place it in the refrigerator until you're ready to serve your flan. And when you are ready to serve your flan, carefully and slowly lift your caramel art piece off of the parchment paper. It will be brittle, so be careful not to break it. Now take your amazing art piece and stick it into the flan. Look! Aww! Now ain't that cute? It looks like it's worth $1 million to me. Alright, let's have a taste of this flan. It is light and creamy and oh so good. I'm going in for another bite. Okay, how about we unmold one more, because I'm going to show you my favorite way of eating flan. Now I love to eat flan with whipped cream, baby. Bring it on. Yep, this is how I do it. Oh yeah. Whipped cream is like butter. It makes everything better. Well, that's it, folks. Have a flan-tastic day, and I'll see you later, alligator. Bye!